Hello everyone, it's me. Actually, I'm going to be reading an article for you on some recent news, and it's about Mary Poppins. UK age rating raised to PG due to discriminatory language. So, if you don't know what Mary Poppins is, but if you're from the UK, you probably certainly do. In my opinion, it's just an extremely overrated film. I haven't watched the film in like nearly 8 years. I think I watched it on Christmas Eve. And it's really it's overrated. I didn't like it. I thought it was quite boring. It's basically about some like nanny essentially who's a bit interesting. She's a bit lively. It's that song. And I don't know if you remember this, but maybe if you were younger. On the CBBC, sorry. There was like this game where the news presenters used to play and used to get people on the phone. Kind of like, I don't know if it was on like Radio 1, where we used to sing I'm Going Home. I've got all these like really annoying people on there just singing I'm Going Home. Because the song I'm Going Home isn't bad, but they ruined it. Like, I remember that thing must have happened. That thing, I just off topic, but that must have been on for years. Like, I remember like that I'm Going Home thing on Radio 1 being there like every day around 5 o'clock or 3, I don't know. For like since 2014, so for nearly a decade. I think they stopped it like 1 or 2 years ago. Thank God, because it was overdue like a year. It got boring then because I remember kind of liking it on the radio, but then afterwards it just got so boring. Like, got used to these extremely annoying people singing wherever you're from. Like, you ruined the song, to be fair, because the song by itself isn't bad. But yeah, I'm going off topic. So yeah. And with that song about super expialidocious, so something along those lines. The song about medicine, I think, or like medicine, like no, that's a different song, isn't it? Might be in the same. I haven't watched film in 8 years. Like something like a spoonful of sugar make the medicine go down. But also some people say a spoonful of butter make the medicine go down. I'm not gonna say who said that, but I think if you know who said it, if you're in this kind of square part of YouTube, but why would you? I need butter for medicine. But anyway, I'm just mumbling on about random nonsense. But anyway, Mary Poppins had its age rating lifted to a PG by the British Board of Film Classification, which is kind of like, I don't know where it stands. It's a non-governmental organisation. It's kind of like the central bank, where it's in actually like grey area whether it's nationalised or not. It's technically, it says it isn't, but to be fair, at the end of the day, I don't think it's a coincidence that every time election season is coming, or there's a new president or prime minister, interest rates are cut. So politicians can say GDP is up, or interest rates have been cut and more investment. It's kind of like that sort of place in like organisational terms. Mary Poppins has had it. Sorry, I already read this part. Sorry. Almost 60 years after it was first released. The film's rating has been upgraded from U, which signifies no material likely to offend or harm, to 1 advising parental guidance due to use of discriminatory language, the Daily Mail reported. It was changed because of a derogatory term for the coquintico, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Essentially, it was Hottentots or something along those like Hottentots or something like that. I think it's about like something to do with priests, but I digress. I don't really know what the context was. A group of people who were almost the first inhabitants of southern Africa. Okay, classifiers picked up on the term used by character Admiral Boone, first as a reference to people not on screen. I don't know. It didn't have some like fourth wall breaking Mary Poppins. I don't remember. Then as a reference to the film Child Stars, when the faces was flattened with soot or salt. Yeah, I think because like though this guy goes a chimney sweep, there was a song about it, and the kids joined in and got the. I haven't watched the film in years, so I don't know, but I think I know a bit of it. We understand from our racism discrimination research that a key concern for parents is potential to expose children to discriminatory language or behaviour, which they find distressing or repeat without realising the potential offence. A BBFC person told me before the Mail, well, it's not really a popular term, is it really? Like, I don't think you're going to see many kids bullying the black kids in school, calls them hot tots, because I don't even think the black kids know what that means. I don't know that. But either way, though, if you're concerned about your kids saying stuff like that by accident, without them knowing the context, tell them. And it's not even about the racism part, just about the waste of time. Like this film been out for not 100 years, but heading on 70 years this year. Will it be 70 years? Yeah, it must be. No, not 70 years, but like 60 years or something along those lines. I'm being stupid. I'm awful at maths. But yeah, it's like it's been around for years, decades. An extremely old film, and now they decided that it needs a new age rating. Like I don't even see the point of age ratings in not necessarily the point in them, but by like a governmental organisation. Even though the BFCC is kind of like a no, not the BBCC. I don't know what it's called again. Sorry, BBFC needs it because at the end of the day, private companies can just do it themselves, like the movie companies as well, the video game companies can do it themselves. Since, like, it's better than getting in trouble, because most people can tell by the packaging of a product what the product is, and also companies will just like put it on the back of the screen or on the side, like for instance Play Store, for instance, or an Xbox or a Microsoft Store. What content it contains, like does it have sexual or violent content, but anyway, I digress. So just some more of a rant about that, because I just don't see the point. Just let the companies do it themselves. You understand? Okay. Content with immediate and clear condemnation is more likely to receive a lower rating. The reclassification affects only the cinema version of the film, with home entertainment vision still rated U. So what's the point then? I don't think there's many cinemas hosting a film made in 1964, apart from if it's stuff like, I forgot what it's called again, photography museum and stuff like that, where it's big and it does do like, like big cinemas. I think for the most part this is a waste of time. The word in question is hot on top, okay? An adopted name for the Kodikushi used by Dutch settlers thought to imitate the language which is considered offensive. It would later be used to refer to all black people. It is not the first classic film to have a rating upgraded in recent years, according to the BBFC 2022 annual report. The 1978 animated film, Watership Down, what is that film again? I recognise the name, I don't know though, merited a PG rating, as classifiers sought to remain a step with societal standards. They said in their X-Style, the rabbits meet various challenges. Or is that the film where all the rabbits gets killed and stuff? But yeah, I think I remember it now. Some of which result in bloody bites and jaw and claw injuries caused by animals fighting. One scene, the birds tell one of the rabbits to pee off. Oh god, that's the worst. Just forget about the animal being slaughtered. It's the fact that the bird told a rabbit to piss off. That's the biggest concern. I'm glad they did that. I was worried for a moment. They added, when we viewed the film under the current guidelines, we classified it PG in line with the current policies for violence, threat and injury in detailed language. What even is an organisation watching film from the 1960s for anyway? Do you reckon that the BFCC is just like an organisation where people just sit on their ass, just watching films all day? Because that's what it seems like, for you to waste your time for a film made in the 1960s just to make the age ratings go up to PG. For cinema, but probably barely any cinema is probably hosting Mary Poppins in the first place. It's certainly a DOS job. They certainly just DOS off. It's that job. Working for the BFCC is certainly a DOS, and I don't know whether our taxpayer money go to it, but it's kind of like in that odd sense where it is. So you probably are paying tax. If you pay taxes, you have a good chance of funding the BFCC. The 1979 film Star Trek The Motion Picture was also graded from U to PG that year as a result of very mild language, mild violence and a threat. The BBFC said, what will even that be, a mild language? Like, idiot. I don't know. It's nonsense. It's just a waste of time. It's bureaucracy, essentially. When deciding on how to classify the film, the BBFC considered scenes that might show dangerous behaviour, discrimination and references to drugs and sex. It also considers the language used in the film, scenes of nudity and threat, horror and violence. So, yeah, but like I said before though, like, you don't really need this organisation. Like, the businesses themselves will just put on the back of the back of like, for instance, a CD of a game packaging, or even on just the site if you're downloading it, it'll probably put like an age rating, recommend like 18, 7, I know it's a bit different, like, it would also save time for stuff such as international trade, since if all countries at once decided to do this, just get rid of it, it just means that all companies wouldn't have to go through the weight of like these like organisations deciding what the age rating is, because in the UK and Europe we have a PEGI system. I think in America the SRB. Japan is a bit weird. I forgot which one that is, but that's when it's. I remember watching like a documentary or something on it years ago, like 5 years ago or so, and it was quite interesting. Off like its numbers, in Japan. They use not numbers. Sorry, I'm being retard. We use letters, and it's not even like in alphabetical order. It's like for stuff that is like really violent or just porn, it's C, it's V. It's really weird there. It's quite funny since like in most ways Japan like media is more sexualized, but they can't really show sex scenes in films. What I remember, because the game Resident Evil, like when it comes to this is going off topic, but I think it's quite interesting. Japanese age, they view violence in Japan as quite bad, more than they do sex, but it's quite interesting because you can't show like a full like nudity in Japan games, I'm quite certain, which is a bit interesting. And we also can't show. Oh, sorry, I'm going off topic. I keep mumbling up for a moment. I'm quite tired actually. But when it comes to, I'm using an example. I think it was Resident Evil 7. When they tried to bring that game to Japan, they had to like cut down a lot of the violent content, and even so, they decided to make like a separate version, like a more extreme version where they didn't censor as much. But even then, it wasn't as bad as just the original Resident Evil game. But I digress. When deciding on how to classify film, I read that. Classifiers particularly look out for discriminatory language or behaviour that is unlikely to be acceptable unless clearly disapproved of, or in an educational historical context, or in a particular dated work with no likely to appeal to children. So so it's just a waste of time, just more government bureaucracy, just nitpicking. It's essentially a waste of time. It's the same with all organisations like this, just like. And like I said before, though, it's more just about a rant about just let the companies do it. Just let the private company decide what age ratings it is. Like they already do that. To be fair, they already put warnings at the start of films and stuff by themselves. I'm using an example. Just look at Hell of a Boss. They put warnings contain violent sexual imagery. So they'll do it themselves, just not to get in trouble or look bad. So anyway, comment what you thought about this. Do you agree with the age rating being raised or not? I just want an opinion tonight. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Bye.